వెల్కమ్ టు వైఎన్సీ న్యూస్. కాకినాడ సముద్ర తీరంలో ఇండో అమెరికన్ సంయుక్త నావికాదళ విన్యాసాల్లో పాల్గొన్న ఇండియా రక్షణ దళాలు, అమెరికా రక్షణ దళాలకు చెందిన 800 మంది అధికారులు, ఇరు దేశాల యుద్ధ నౌకలు, యుద్ధ ట్యాంకర్లతో విన్యాసాలు, దేశ రక్షణ సముద్ర మార్గం ద్వారా శత్రువులు అటాక్ చేస్తే ఎలా ఎదుర్కోవాలి అనే దానిపై విన్యాసాలు, ఈ నెల 31 వరకు జరగనున్న విన్యాసాలు, 4 రోజుల పాటు బీచ్ రోడ్డు మూసివేత, టైగర్ ట్రయాంప్ 2024 పేరుతో భారత్ అమెరికా నేవీ జాయింట్ ఆపరేషన్ విన్యాసాల్లో భారత్ నుండి పాల్గొన్న ఐఎన్ఎస్ ఐరావత్, కేసరి యుద్ధ నౌకలు, అమెరికా నుండి పాల్గొన్న యుఎస్ఎస్ సోమర్ సెట్ నౌక, ప్రకృతి వైపరీత్యాల సహాయక చర్యలు, దాయాది దేశాల సైన్యం చొరబడినప్పుడు ప్రదర్శించే యుద్ధ తంత్రాలపై విన్యాసాలు, పాల్గొన్న నేవీ అధికారి రాజేష్ ధనకర్, ఆర్మీ అధికారి అఖిలేష్ కుమార్, యుఎస్ నేవీ అధికారి మార్టినేజ్, యుఎస్ కౌన్సిల్ జనరల్ జెనిఫర్ Larson.
Many of them here in terms of the amphibious operations. We use a very broad term to cover what is an amphibious operation, but there are lots of parts and pieces with that we have built up our SOPs with working with them, such as the route clearing, such as setting up camps, such as establishing communication control. All of those things go into it.
Because this was played where a kind of simulated HEDR operations was played out, where a friendly foreign country had asked for a help from us in kind of a aid that is required to be provided. Together we came, established the IDP camp, and thereafter together both the forces are contributing, primarily the infantry component, the army component, in kind of providing the relief which is required to the affected persons. That has been our major role. Thanks for the question. Morning, everyone.
Tiger Triumph, we truly will be able to take on any challenge that we may face. Thank you for your time today.
See, okay, good morning. As you're aware, the Navy, in concert with the other armed forces, have been rendering humanitarian assistance on a regular basis. And whenever there is a requirement, the aim of this exercise is in case we have to render assistance through the sea. And in case of the Andhra coast, we have other means of transportation or communication, whether it is by road or by air, in case there's a airstrip or a helipad. So this exercise is basically for where we have to insert by sea. So wherein all three elements of the Indian Armed Forces, along with the partner country US that we have simulated,
Where the Indians and U.S. service members danced and threw powder and took hundreds of photos together. It's probably one of the most fun things I've done in a long time, so I'm grateful for that. And while there, a few of us that may still be scrubbing off colors from Holy, I can assure you we built an incredible set of relationships that will last a lifetime.
Indian Army has represented by contributing about a battalion plus group in exercise Tiger Trump, and has played a very vital role, because in any of the previous operations, it's a combined operation of all Army, Navy, Air Force. Especially here, it was also a joint forces, because we had 20 foreign country groups also participating. So Army has a role to play as part of FPS force, as a landing force which actually establishes a foothold on the beaches of the country where the HADR operation or amphibious operation is required to be undertaken. So here, that was an important role that was played, and thereafter, in the infantry battalion of Indian Army.
Leading up to this, this just doesn't happen overnight. There's a tremendous amount of planning and work and effort that goes with this. There's been a tremendous amount of effort both ashore and afloat to ensure safe operations at this scale to be able to operate in an integrated and joint manner. Indian and U.S. service members have conducted training together spanning a number of mission areas.
Certain environmental conditions such as the beach gradient and other factors for safe operations. And this is an area where the Navy regularly practices. And it fits into the time, space, administrative arrangement, the insertion of logistic support. So that is one of the points, and it is not that we can't do at other places, but Kakinada is preferred because we are quite familiar and we regularly practice here. That is one of the reasons. So, and future plans for Tiger Tram. There are the as you're aware, we have the naval enclave here, and there are plans to develop it as a training for amphibious operations in the times ahead. The exact timelines and all, I'm not aware, but you can contact Captain Raju and he will tell you that. Thank you.
The Navy can do across the globe is an amphibious operation. And so what you see here is the culmination of those 2 years of work where we've worked together as partners to understand each other to be able to synchronize our operations in both space and time. So you saw how all of our forces came ashore at the same time. And we were able to do that only because of all of the work we've done in the last 10 days before getting here and in the last 2 years of understanding how they conduct and plan amphibious operations, how we plan and conduct amphibious operations. That type of integration doesn't happen overnight. And so the more that we can continue to practice that and learn from each other and understand their practices, their capabilities, what do they bring, what are our capabilities, what are the things that we bring, it helps each other. For example, we saw the hospital capability of the Indian Armed Forces and understanding how quickly they can get into an area and how quickly they can set up. They're able to set up in 6 hours, which is very impressive capability for them to do, and they fit in a very small package, but they bring a lot of capability with that. And so our planners being able to understand that and being able to work together, those kinds of things are the things that we really see building on one another and the kinds of operations that we can do. But we continue to integrate and work towards more and more complex operations so that we can handle any set of crises or contingencies that may come up across the globe. And services supporting our naval services, the Navy and Marine Corps supporting from the USS Somerset with landing craft and landing forces, our Army brethren supporting with security, special operations team, and an incredible medical capability. And finally, the Air Force is flying overhead supporting from the skies. When you factor in each of the U.S. services capabilities and bringing them together with the Indian Joint Forces, you create a very powerful capability that is well beyond the sum of its parts. This integrated force will be able to deal with any crisis or any contingency. Capabilities, and most importantly, an ability to plan and execute operational level missions like what you see here today. Throughout the world, and especially in the Indo-Pacific region, crisis response is not a matter of if, but a question of when. Collectively, we want to be prepared to work together seamlessly in a time of crisis.
Bilateral HADR exercise Tiger Triumph 2024. And thank you very much for joining us at a short notice. Before we commence, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Martinez, Vice Commander, US 7th Fleet based in Japan. The Indian Navy is represented by Rear Admiral Rajesh Dhankar, Flag Officer commanding Eastern Fleet based at Visakhapatnam. The Indian Army is represented by Major General Akhilesh Kumar, General Officer commanding of 54 Infantry Division based at Hyderabad.
Commanding officers, forces, U.S. and Indian. Good morning. My name is Martinez. I am the U.S. Joint Task Force Commander for Tiger Triumph 20. I want to first thank all of you for taking time to come out to see the combined joint operations at Kakadana Beach. The relationship between India and the United States has grown immensely over recent years, and you see it manifested here today. As the Admiral said, this is the third iteration of Tiger Triumph, and it is magnitudes larger, and more complex than the first two. During the first two, our nation's militaries learned from each other, built relationships, and planned extensively to safely execute amphibious operations bilaterally. It is no small feat to put ships, aircraft, and personnel into this kind of dynamic environment. Operations like Tiger Triumph build trust and confidence in our ability to work together and to respond as an integrated joint force, one team to a real world crisis.
Participating in the exercise and the long-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft. The Indian Army is represented by one infantry battalion group, including mechanized forces, and the Indian Air Force has deployed one medium lift aircraft, helicopter, and the Rapid Action Medical Team, that is RAMT. From the US side, a landing platform dock with its integral landing craft, air cushions, and helicopters, a destroyer which will subsequently be participating, long range maritime reconnaissance aircraft, and medium lift aircraft have participated. Additionally, the special forces from the US Armed Forces and all three services of the Indian Armed Forces have also participated in this exercise. I am confident that both sides have benefited from this exercise to enhance interoperability. Exercise Tiger Triumph 2024 has added to the jointmanship and has added value towards improving capabilities, capacities, processes, and procedures towards saving human lives and undertaking coordinated relief activities during HADR operations. I would like to convey our gratitude to all participating personnel and a special thanks to the US side for their wholehearted contribution and participation in achieving aims of the exercise. We look forward to the next edition of Tiger Triumph. Thank you and Jai. Major General Akhilesh Kumar, dignitaries from civil administration, senior officers from the services, commanding officers, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the India US Joint Amphibious and Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Relief, that is the HADR exercise. This is the third edition of Exercise Tiger Triumph. The first edition was conducted from 13 to 21st of November in 2019, followed by a tabletop exercise in October 22, that is from 18 to 20th October 22. This exercise reiterates the robust strategic partnership between both our nations. The aim of this exercise is to share best practices and standard operating procedures in undertaking multinational HADR operations. The objective of the exercise Tiger Triumph is to enhance interoperability for conducting amphibious HADR operations in the aftermath of any natural calamity and refine the standard operating procedures to enable rapid and smooth coordination between forces of the two nations. Service personnel from both countries have participated in training visits, subject matter expert exchanges, sports events, social interactions during Harbour Phase, which was held at Vishakhapatnam from 18 to 25th of March. The troops subsequently embarked on board ships for the sea phase of Kakinada and have undertaken maritime, amphibious, and HADR operations in accordance with injected situations as per schedule of the exercise. Another important facet of this edition of the exercise Tiger Triumph is the StaffX, wherein personnel from both sides have refined the standard operating procedures for exercising, handling contingencies, crisis situations, and executed coordinated HDR operations as you all have just witnessed today morning. The participating units from the Indian Navy include a landing platform dock, Jalashwa, landing ship tank large, that is Aravat and Kesri, including their integral landing crafts and helicopters.